On this episode, we talk about Olympic lifting for the youth
and injury prevention.
Brent Porcio, Alex Mitchell here at the Top Velocity hashtag Pitch Tips Show. Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat. Ask your question. Baseball tips, pitch tips, we answer on the show. 3X, 2X camps coming up. If you haven't been to them, try to book one before it's too late. We'll get started today. We'll start with the show. Ken Mykisson asks, I have a 13-year-old on the team I coach who touches 80 on the gun. Should we encourage Olympic lifting for someone so young? Okay, sounds like we've kind of repeating ourselves because we actually did this episode and the mic wasn't on, so we're doing this again. Of course, starting young is like we were talking about. We talked to everybody in this room that are lifting here, and everyone who comes to this has had some form of at least 6 months to a year of Olympic lifting. Always say they should have started younger. Starting younger is really a no question because so much we gain from Olympic lifting. We gain, using the kinetic chain better. We're more efficient in how we move our bodies. We're definitely more explosive. We're stronger, more mobility, more joint integrity. All the things that really help us move better in a skill on the mound. So yeah, it's like a no-brainer. When you've done this for a year, you're like, yeah, I should have started a long time ago. I think. Even I'll talk to Olympians that have had a lot of success with Olympic lifting, obviously, they've been in the Olympics. And they say, when you talk to a lot of them, like, what would you have done different? A lot of them said, I would have started younger. I would have started at, 7, 8, as opposed to maybe 11, 12. Because if you look at a lot of, other countries, that's what they do. So, and even if your son is 13 throwing 80, yeah, it's not like he needs the performance benefit right now. He's doing great. It's just, he'll benefit from so much more of just the training, which is everything I laid out, and I think that's huge. And you need like a year of technical training to really master the technique and develop some strength and conditioning, joint integrity in the process, so you can start pushing your body. And you don't want to be, which I typically find guys coming into camp 17, 18 years old going, okay, I want to start lifting. And I'm like, dude, you want a college to notice you. You want to start performing now. You don't want to start lifting. You should have been lifting 2-3 years ago. So 13 is a great time to start learning, just maybe with the bar or with the training bar. So when you do get 16, 17, you're pushing and you're performing as opposed to, I just want to get started learning this stuff. It's too late at that point because everything's going to be last minute. And that's what we get. We get guys coming to camp and it's like, I only got 4 months to do this. Can I get a 1.5 power to weight ratio in 4 months? And you're like, okay, good luck, we'll try, right? So I think that's something we're telling you, don't fall into that trap. And I think that's the trap of baseball. It's like we shouldn't be lifting when we're young. No, you really shouldn't be throwing too much when you're young and lifting more. What do you think? No, a little bit about Alex. So Alex has been in the program for a while. He had good success. He's had some setbacks. We'll actually talk about that in the show. But he's been training here and for a while and knows the program well and he'll give you some good insight on it. But give him your opinion on starting young and maybe say, would you have started younger, and talk about that.
I would have, just what he said, I'd absolutely have started younger. I was in the tweet that we got, and I was basically in the same boat, throwing 80 around 13 years old. And then I didn't work out, and I was being a kid, and I was eating and not working out, and my body finally caught up to my size where I was, and my velocity started falling off. And at that point, because I wasn't doing the Olympic lifts, I didn't know how to use my body correctly, and so my velocity started falling off. So I definitely wish I would have started earlier.
And I think a good story with Alex, when we were talking earlier, was I remember when you came. I actually use you a lot talking to parents. When you came, you were, 18?
Yeah, I was like 18 to 10.
Even 2, you were?
Yeah, I was around 2.
And you were really quick. Mm-hmm. And you're throwing mid-80s at the time?
Yeah, I was throwing around 80, 84 at the time when at my first camp.
So I told you, I think in 2 months you'd be 90 or something.
Yeah.
And I remember your dad calls me back like 6 months later and is like, he's not having any success. And I'm like, no way. I'm like, no way. Like, what I remember of how well you moved, there's no way. I was like, you can't be having success. I think you were still stuck in the mid 80s.
Yeah.
I said, well, I asked your dad, like, are you doing the full program? And we walked through everything. You were doing everything. And I was like, well, how big is he? And you had gained like, how big do you think you were within a year? It was probably not 6 months.
Within a year of me coming down for my second time, I was around 280.
So he went
280,
210 to 280, 290. So when your dad said 280, 290, I about passed out. I was like,
yeah.
What? Remember that, Kevin? I was like, what happened? How the hell do you go 210 to 290 on my program? Like, what's the secret here? I couldn't believe it. So then I was like, oh, well, shoot, now the power to weight ratio is all messed up. So then Kevin had to put him in his house and teach you how to not eat Snickers bars like we were talking about, right?
Reese's under the bed.
And then we knew how he got to the 290, right?
Yeah.
But then you started having success again.
Absolutely, yeah, without a doubt.
So would you, and all that for Olympic lifting at a young age. So
oh yeah.
If you would have started younger, but you're not like you did something wrong. It's just like bodies change, man. Mm-hmm. I think people don't understand. People are like, well, I'm 17 and everything's working for me. Dude, your body could change dramatically in the 2 years. Yeah. You're the perfect example.
Oh yeah.
It was a dramatic change. Yeah, but it was just you're come from big families. Like you got a big family. And your body just hadn't fully finished growing. Mm-hmm. And plus you're eating.
Yeah.
Which is awesome. I mean, come on, I'll take your size. Just got to be able to move it, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So cool. So lift young, yes, but learn it correctly. Learn it technically. Mm-hmm. All right. So to get him back to training, next question. Hood Baseball asks, what are some tips for injury prevention and what do we do when coming back from one pertaining to the elbow? Okay, so injury prevention we've talked about is taking, if we look at ASMI, what typically ASMI says causes injury? Poor physical fitness, poor mechanics, and overuse. So you want to make sure in preventing injury or overcoming from injury, you're really exploiting those as best you can. You're really trying to improve physical fitness, you're trying to improve mechanics, and you're trying to not overuse, right? So that's what we do in these programs, and that's our focus is like develop good total body strength, good explosive strength, good mobility, good use of the kinetic chain. And that's in your athletic training, and that's why we like an Olympic approach, because they're the best at that. And then technically, learn the techniques that we've developed, like with 3X pitching, like the mechanics of the throws and everything. And that's going to both help you in recovery and prevention. And then overuse. Don't push yourself thinking that, well, my arm's got to tolerate more. No, get your arm to, be strong, but not like toast it. I don't like that approach. I don't like those conventional approaches that want to toast the arm. It's going to be toasted when you start playing in the season. Of course, you got to be ready for that, and there's a progression to that in a preseason program. But in the off season, train your body to put less stress on the arm. Train your body to throw harder, but with less stress to the arm. I think that's the key to injury prevention. But I think when everyone's gone through an injury, I've gone through an injury, Alex has gone through an injury, there's something coming back, you have to do something better. And I think a lot of people do that. That's survival, right? I've got to learn what went wrong, and I've got to do something better. But and setbacks could just come from left field. I mean, it could be an arm, like you said. It could be an elbow. It could be a shoulder that built up over time, and you just weren't paying attention to all those things and doing those well. Or it could be just something that comes out of left field, like what Alex went through. Literally, he's just in a game, and tell him what happened.
I was in the game, and there was a play at third, and I went to go cover the bag, and I tripped, hyperextended my leg, spun on it, and tore my ACL, MCL, LCL, PCL, IT band, and my hamstring, all in one go.
And really, what could you have done to prepare for that?
Probably nothing. I mean, I could have tried not to look like an idiot and trip. That was the main reason I did it.
That's the humiliating part, the trip. Right?
Yeah. So.
But tell them too, you were very close to breaking 90. Tell them how that game was a good game for you.
I was doing the program, and finally, like the fall I had the gains from the summer. I was sitting around 83, 85, and then and then the program really started hitting in, and I saw my big gains in the spring. And that game I was sitting around 85, 87, and I hit 89. My second last pitch I hit 88 and 89, and then I got hurt.
So what's it like? And tell them how frustrating it is when you kind of have a big setback. Talk about what that was like.
It was probably the most frustrated and annoyed I've ever been in my whole life. I mean, I was finally, after the years of being on the program, I was finally getting ready to break through and break 90. It was exciting. It was getting ready to happen, and then just to have that huge setback is ridiculous. But coming back from the injury now, it's understanding that my body has been there before, and your body can perform because it's been able to do it before. So now it's just trusting it and getting it healing and getting it strong enough to get back to the point of where you were before.
Yeah, so what are the things that you feel like you could do better this time to maybe stay even healthier or safer in the face of injury?
Definitely getting more lower half flexibility in like my legs, my hips, and my core, because those were definitely the lacking areas of my pitching before I got hurt, and definitely just the hip mobility for sure. Because on my squats, when I would start to get heavy, my knees would tend to come in, and I feel like that was a little bit of a gradual breakdown.
Which could leave you susceptible to like a freak accident like that, where if your body doesn't have a lot of mobility to move and adjust to, and it's hitting into range, then that weight just snaps it. Boom. So if you had more mobility to adjust in those awkward movements and kind of move and decelerate easily into them, and instead of hitting your end and you're stuck and then all your weight just crushes through it, that you're right in itself would have probably prevented that, could have prevented that injury.
Right.
But yeah, you're just at the same time too, you want to get back to where you were because you were right on the cusp of breakthrough. So what are things in the program you feel like are going to take you through? Is it that power to weight ratio? Do you feel like that's going to be used or what?
Oh yeah, power to weight's definitely going to, because over the summer when I was 83, 85, I was at around a 1-2 power to weight with my power clean, but it wasn't a power clean. I didn't catch it at the top. It was a full clean, and so by the time I was around my 88, 89, I was able to get the power clean 290 at the top. So definitely getting my power to weight at the top, and not just full cleaning, but focusing on the power catch.
And then too, like you said, the mobility piece, and then what mechanically stuff we've got to do is really keeping you breaking through. It's just hard for a guy like you, as big as you, to move really quickly, and it's so important. Cool. All right, I'll bring Mark in on the next one. Okay. Gonna bring Mark in on the next one. Another guy who's got a great story about who's been there for a while and has his ups and downs, and hopefully he'll be another testimonial. But good questions. If you have questions, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, at Top Velocity, #Pitch Tips. Ask your question, answer the show. 286 Camp. See you in the next episode.